Be patient, but don't hesitate. Many people may think that hesitation is this sort of virtuous, admirable quality where it's a sort of like a mindful weariness, a consideration of the different variables in the choice you're about to make. But in my opinion, hesitation in every instance is only indicative of a lack of confidence in what you're about to do, an insecurity. Hesitation is sort of like a physical and mental expression of anxiety, of not knowing what do I do. You know what I mean? And there's a myriad of examples of where hesitation results in our downfall, in the failure on our part of what we were trying to accomplish. You think about like, hunting, where you're waiting for the right moment to line up your scope with the animal, and if you hesitate on pulling the trigger, you're going to jerk the gun, or you're going to pull the trigger too hard and move the gun around, or you're going to maybe not even shoot at the right moment because you're so in your head about, is it the right moment? Should I do it? Should I not do it? Should I do it? Should I not do it? You know what I mean? Or you think about, this is something I've personally experienced. I was cliff jumping at a river one time where there were these like 20-foot high cliffs that people were jumping off of, and I wanted to do it. And I was standing on the edge of the cliff, and instead of just jumping, I was so overwhelmed with fear of the jump. I wanted to do it. Something in me wanted to do it, but I was so like, oh my God, should I do this? I don't know if I want to do it. And what that resulted in was me like wavering, of my feet are getting weird. My feet are like, and I felt like I need to either jump right now or not do it at all. Because it's that hesitation, it's that lack of confidence in the decision you're about to make that results in you like half jumping or slipping, or you start to jump but then you decide you don't want to. For yet another example, I used to be into mountain biking, and when you go down this goes for skateboarding or skiing or anything where, like, when you go down over a big drop, you need to commit. It's called commitment, and maybe we could use the word commitment as like a key word in this video, where in this instance of mountain biking, when you go over a big drop, like a hill, or maybe even like a sort of sheer drop in, you need to commit to it. You can't half-ass it. You can't kind of go into it. Because it's down, you need to go, and it's game on. You either do it or you don't. And there was this one time where I wanted to go down this drop, I wanted to go down this hill, this sort of like rock face, but I once again was overcome with this anxiety of, oh my God, I don't know, can I do it? I don't know if I can do it. I'm gonna try to do it, I can do it, but can I do it? The hesitation, which is marked by anxiety and lack of confidence and insecurity in what you're about to do. And so I say, okay, I'm gonna do it. And then because I'm hesitant, because I'm insecure, because I don't have confidence in what I'm about to do, right when I go over that lip and start to go down into the drop, I am overwhelmed by fear, I regret having gone, and I throw myself back onto the hill, and my bike goes flying down the hill, and I didn't make the drop. I didn't make the drop because I was so overwhelmed with this hesitation. The hesitation is a lack of decisiveness. You know? You think about when you're like boxing, or in martial arts or of any kind, or God forbid in a real fight in the world. If you think about what your opponent is gonna do for even a split second too long, you're on the floor. If you think about what you're going to do before executing that decision, your opponent sees it coming and avoids it. Assuming they're a good fighter, you know what I mean? It's the hesitation in your action that results in you missing your mark. It's the not going with it. You need to go with it. There's a moment of execution. There's a moment where the decision either needs to be made or not made at all. You either need to do it or not do it. And this in-between limbo tiptoeing of I'm going to try to do it, but I'm not really confident that I'm able to, that's what results in getting outcomes that we weren't really looking for. That's what results in missing when we shoot at the animal while we're hunting, or slipping when we're jumping off the cliff, or getting hit and not being able to dodge the incoming attack because we were thinking about what was going to happen. Commitment, and I guess we could say, like I said a moment ago, commitment as a key word in this video. Commitment is a lack of hesitation. Commitment is decisiveness. It's making that jump. You know what I mean? Like when you think about jumping out of a plane. Somebody's either going to have to kick your butt out of the plane, or you have to jump. You have to go. You know, and I bet there's many, many people who, at the moment of jumping out of that plane, they realized, I shouldn't have done this. I don't want to do this. But now they're falling out of a plane 20,000 feet in the sky. You know what I mean? And see, that hesitation, it's not... Consideration is much different than hesitation. Consideration is something done beforehand. Something done before even making the choice, before even jumping, before even pulling the trigger. Consideration is something where you consider the variables, if it's something you even want to do. And once you've come to a sort of consensus through consideration of, yes, I want to do this, I'm going to do this, that should be the consensus you come to, is I'm going to do this or I'm not going to do this. When you come to that consensus, that's when you shouldn't hesitate. You shouldn't hesitate, because the power of prior consideration is the thing that makes you feel confident and secure in that decision you're about to make. So commitment, it's like a merging of the different facets of our being, of body and mind, where we're not, like in hesitation, our body could be doing something. Our body could be leaning out of the plane to jump, or leaning over the cliff, getting ready to jump, or getting ready to throw that punch in the fight, or getting ready to pull the trigger, whatever it is. Our body could be insinuating one action, while our mind is sort of severed, dissociated from what our body is doing, and is thinking a whole other thing. Our mind is sort of like fighting and arguing against what the body is doing. That's hesitation, where the body is doing it, but the mind isn't there for it. The mind isn't with it. The mind is going, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to do this. I'm going to do it, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if it's going to work. Commitment is where the mind and body come into union. They come into agreement. They come into harmony with each other, where they're resonating on in the same energy, where the mind is confident in what the body is able to do. And I mean, this doesn't mean there's not wiggle room for failure. Obviously, there's room for failure. You never know the outcome. You know what I mean? But it's up to us to do the best that we can in executing our decisions with confidence and security and commitment, and not anxiety, not I don't know if I can do this, but I'm going to try to do it. Commitment is bringing the mind and the body into one, where our actions are going to be much more efficient, much more clean, much more fruitful when our mind and body are in union in executing that action. If your body is doing the action, but your mind is doubting your capability of doing that action and fulfilling that action, all you're creating is a mess within yourself that's going to increase the odds of not being able to fulfill that thing you're trying to do. It's going to increase your odds of messing up, of getting in your own way. You know what I mean? Alan Watts talks a lot about how, what's the difference between seeing something and really trying to see it, giving it a good look? What's the difference between listening and really listening intently? All of a sudden, we're seeing right now. But when you're told, when you're instructed, really look at this closely, what do? You're already seeing to the best of your ability in all moments. I mean, assuming that there's not a hair in front of your eye or whatever, you're seeing in totality right now. So thinking, I'm going to look harder, all that does is impair the clarity and the efficiency of which you're looking. You know what I'm saying? The depth at which you're looking. You don't need to try to see. You're already seeing always. You don't need to try to hear. Obviously, you can listen to you can kind of tune and hone your focus in on different things, but you're not hearing better by trying to hear better. And see, this is kind of the same thing along the lines of hesitation. When you're standing over that cliff and you're about to jump, thinking, I need to do this right, I really need to jump right, that's not helpful, because what you got to do is just jump. You know how to jump. You see how everybody else is jumping. You know how far you have to jump. You thinking about it and ruminating on it in the moment of it, filled with anxiety and insecurity and lack of confidence, all that's going to do is just mess up your action that much more. Have you ever had a moment where so there's somebody you're interested in and you're hanging out and it's a moment that seems like the stars have aligned and they're there and no one else is talking to them and the opportunity presents itself to go and ask them on a date. You've wanted to ask them on a date for weeks or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? But you hesitate. You have a lack of confidence in what you're about to do. Oh, are they going to think I'm weird? Am I going to say, what if I stumble on my words? What if I spit when I accidentally, what if I accidentally spit when I talk to her? What if I say the wrong thing? What if she says no? All this stuff, all this insecurity, all this anxiety, hesitation starts to arise. And so while you're sitting there, an insecure mess, hesitating and not pulling the trigger on your action with confidence and faith that it's going to go how it goes, but I might as well try. Grateful Dead, it could be an illusion, but I might as well try. You might as well try, bro. While you're sitting there busy hesitating, full of anxiety and insecurity, suddenly that girl or that guy or whoever, somebody comes up and starts talking to them. Or they get up and leave. You miss your opportunity because you're hesitating. This must have happened to at least one of you watching, where you miss your mark, you miss your opportunity, that window of possibility where the moment presents itself, and you don't act on it out of hesitation. And that hesitation is being born from what? Not consideration, not mindful analysis, but insecurity, lack of confidence, anxiety. And I must say that hesitation is normal. We're all going to deal with it. But what hesitation should be a teacher of for you is showing you that you haven't considered enough of if you even want to do this thing. If you want to do it, don't let the anxiety around doing it stop you. Overcome that anxiety. Push through that anxiety. Say, listen, I know it's awkward. I know it's scary. I know it's scary to jump off this cliff. I know it's scary to, fight in these martial arts. I know it's scary to ask this person on a date, but I want to. That should be your leading goal. That should be the thing in mind that pulls you through in executing that decision. You shouldn't give way to anxiety and lack of confidence when you know and have considered enough the fact that you want to do it. You want to ask that person on a date. You want to jump off that cliff or jump out of that plane. You want to do it, And there are a wide range, a whole array of examples of where hesitation gets in our way. You know what I mean? Hesitation creates a room of losing that window of opportunity. You think about a cobra sitting there, or a spider, one of them tarantulas that like hangs out under a leaf or whatever it does, or in its little hole. These animals, or cats, or foxes, when they're about to pounce, they're listening intently. They're waiting to hear that mouse come up from the snow or from the hole that it's in. And right when it's close enough, does it hesitate? Does it think, I don't know if I can do this, man? No. It pounces at once. It does it in an instant. When the spider senses its prey close enough, it goes up and grabs at it. And it either gets it or not. That's the outcome that you're not in control of. But what you are in control of is the execution of your action with confidence, clarity, and commitment. The cobra, when there's a predator coming at it, or better yet, prey that's presenting itself in front of this cobra or this snake, it waits, it's patient, like I said in the beginning, it's patient, and then it strikes. And it's that dance of patience and action and commitment that creates a very high probability of fruitful action, of successful action, where that snake does get its prey, that tarantula does get its prey, that fox does get that mouse. This is why I mentioned patience. Patience is about waiting for the right moment, waiting for that opportunity to present itself. Patience and commitment paired together gives you the best possible chance at fruitful action, at successful action. There's no room for hesitation. There's no room for, I don't know, man. You gotta do it. You gotta do it. But with that said, you gotta wait for the right moment. You know what I'm saying? You know how when you're chewing food, there's this sort of reflex, this eventual reflex where I can swallow now. You don't just chew food and swallow it. You don't just put food in your mouth and swallow it. You chew, and then it's like there's this signal through your brain that says, okay, I can swallow now. That, you don't want to hesitate. You swallow. You know what I'm saying? You jump. You pull the trigger. You ask him on a date. You go after it. You strike. You do it. You commit. There's a reflex. There's a lining through our whole being, through every level of our being that says now. And by being in tune with our body, with our mind, with the environment around us, listening, being tuned in to everything going on around us, we can feel when the time is right. And when the time is right, you go. Don't worry about if it's gonna work, or if it's gonna fall through, or if you get rejected, or if you miss, or if you whatever. Don't worry about the outcome. The outcome is out of your control. What is in your control is trying, going after, committing, giving it a shot, shooting your shot. It's worth trying. Nothing is going to get done if we just sit here not doing anything because we're afraid it's not going to work. You need to be willing to take that risk. You need to be willing to give it a shot. If we just wait around not doing anything and waiting for everything else to happen around us because we think we're incapable, and we think, oh, I don't know, man, I'm scared to do that. I don't know if I can do that. You know what I mean? It's going to interfere with the fulfillment of that thing being done, if that makes sense. If you don't take action with confidence, you're not going to get a lot of what you're looking for in your life. You're not going to get a lot done. Taking action requires faith, it requires commitment, it requires trust, and it also requires surrender. Surrender into it could go how I want it to, or it could not. But I'm going to try because I see that trying is the one condition, the one prerequisite in giving myself a chance of getting it. Giving myself a chance of doing it. It's all about waiting for the right timing and then executing your action. You ever heard the quote, when there's a fork in the road, take it? That's just it, man. That's just it. This is a world of karma. Karma means action. This is a world of doing stuff. where I'm making a video and there's cars driving by and winter's happening and all this stuff. It's all action. You can't not do something. So when the idea of when there's a fork in the road, take it, it means when it comes down to it, you gotta do something. Act, do something, you know? So it would be in our best interest to consider the different variables of what's presenting itself in every moment of our life, you know? And taking action based off of consideration. And once we've considered it enough, even if it's in the immediate moment of it, doing it. When there's a fork in the road, take it, you know? Commitment is what will allow you to pull through in your actions. And I must stress that it's not about fulfilling and getting that thing. It's don't worry about the outcome, man. What you should worry about is acting and doing it and trusting yourself and being confident in yourself enough to take action. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And if you did enjoy, consider leaving a thumbs up so that this video can get recommended to more people like you. I will see you all later.